Berry Babe, welcome back to another podcast episode. So excited to have you here on this Berry Babe podcast, listening to me chat about all things post weight loss surgery life. So I'm so excited to be here. I'm your host, Lauren Pete, bariatric nurse specialist, and I'm so excited to be sharing my knowledge and supporting you on your post-op journey. Today I wanted to talk around breaking through plateaus and how to keep progressing after weight loss surgery. You know, it's so frustrating after surgery to go through the stools and find out that weight's not moving and getting frustrated, and you may have spent all this money on surgery and you're like, why is this not happening? So I'm here today to bust some of those myths and give you some tools and tips and tricks to get you through when it might be getting a bit hard or when you're just not sure where to from here. So stay tuned, because this episode is going to be full of lots of amazing information for you to get you on track, keep you motivated, and keep pushing forward. What I wanted to talk about first was why plateaus happen. After surgery, we have cycles that our body goes through in order to just breathe for a minute, basically. So I know they happen in little parts. So the first stall is usually about 3 weeks post-op. And what a stall is when your body just stops losing weight for a minute. And it can be so frustrating because you're like, why is this happening to me? I get it. What is important is that you realize that it's totally normal. And this is when most people fall off the wagon in terms of diets in the real world, is because they get to 3 weeks and the weight stops losing and they're like, what is going on? I'm over this. I've been starving myself for weeks. But it's natural for your body to just have a little bit of a moment to breathe before it starts losing again. And so usually the first stall happens about 3 weeks post-op, then again sometimes around that 6-week mark, and then again at 12 weeks or 3 months, then again at 6 months, then again at 9 months, then again at 12 months, and then 12 to 18 months, because this is your peak weight loss period, can be a little bit hit and miss, and depending on where you are at and how close you are to your goal weight. And so it's really important to know that those are normal. And it's really important that you don't get super frustrated with yourself or upset that the surgery has failed, because it hasn't. What we generally look at as post-op success is that you're losing on average 1 kilo per week. What that means is that you're not going to lose 1 kilo every single week. What that means is that on average, some weeks you'll lose more, some weeks you'll lose less. And what tends to happen is if you are stuck in a stool, chances are, provided it's not driven by overeating or snacking behaviours that have kind of crept in, your body is just taking a moment to breathe, and then it'll go through a big drop. So rest assured, if you are on a stool, big things are coming. So that's exciting. And everyone loses weight in slightly different patterns. So not everyone is going to be losing 20 kilos straight off the bat. Some people in the community, I won't say in the bariatric world because specialists don't actually put these labels on it, but some people label themselves slow losers, whereas other people tend to lose that big weight really fast at the start, but they slow down long term. Whereas some people tend to be quite slow at the start, but it's a continuous momentum. There is just different patterns, and that's normal. What you do need to be aware of after surgery is that when you start in a plateau or a stall, as I like to call them, it is totally normal, but you do need to be aware of looking at, am I hitting all the right fundamentals so that I can move through this stall, rather than getting frustrated on it, because sometimes stalls can happen if you're under eating or overeating as well. And so that's really important that it's not a kind of external factor. The reason stalls happen is because your body is losing weight quite consistently, and then it goes, hold on a minute, I just need to stop. And so it does. And it's like, in case I don't get another proper meal, it's human nature, right? Going back to those caveman days, if you believe in that, it's your body's like feast or famine. Okay, I just need to hold on to everything for a little bit in case I don't get any more food. That is your body's biological process. And so it goes, hold on a minute, I'm just going to hold on to everything. And so it holds on to it. Frustrating for us, but your body's just doing the thing. And then it goes, actually I'm getting enough food. I'm going to continue the process. I don't need as much to survive on. I'm good. So it's really frustrating, but we do need to make sure that you are getting enough protein in. Protein is key here because it's going to keep your body fueled, it's going to look after your muscles, it's going to keep everything ticking along well so that you are able to keep losing that weight. And so prioritizing the protein, prioritizing your water and fluids, and prioritizing your sleep is really, really important. And then just knowing that stools are part of the process. How long does a stool take? Stools can last a little bit of time or a really long bit of time, and so there's no predictable way to know, but do look at what could be feeding into it, making it longer. They could last from a couple of days to a few weeks, and that's really normal. Up to probably 2 months I've seen is some stools, but it's really important to know that it's part of the process, but equally that you are hitting all the targets you need to keep you on track. I know, going back to those early days when I just had surgery and I was dead on my feet at 3 weeks post-op, it is rough. It is such a rough time to be alive. And those first 3 weeks after surgery, you just like, I don't have any energy, I'm so tired, I can't eat anything, what have I done to myself? Buyer's remorse was real. I just remember sitting there crying to my husband like, what have I done? I've spent all this money. I'm never going to be able to eat again. All the fun, all the happiness in my life was gone. Well, like, that's what I felt like at 3 weeks post-op. In hindsight now, I'm like, well, I'm good now. It's not all that bad. But back then, I just couldn't get over, one, how little I was eating and that I was still alive, because up until that point, old me was always like, more food. I don't want to die. I just want to keep eating food. And then having surgery and realizing I can only eat a teaspoon per meal. That's insane. And then I can't get out of bed. I'm so tired. I'm so thirsty, but I can't drink enough water to keep myself satisfied. It's a struggle. So if you are in the trenches right now, please know that we are all here standing with you, knowing exactly where you're at, and equally knowing that it does get better. I promise it gets better. So if you're there right now, so let me know, because we've been there. We get it. It does get easier, and you'll look back on it and be like, oh, that was a moment. But it's a moment that will make or break the future of your life. So I'm excited to have you get past this moment. And so after 6 weeks, things start to get a little bit easier and you can eat a little bit more. Your energy levels start returning, your healing's getting there as well, and life just kind of starts getting back to a normal rhythm. And so that's really important when you start looking at the scales. One thing that can really help with your mindset around the scales is limiting how often you weigh yourself, because fluctuations happen on the daily. There's so many factors that come into that, whether or not you've done bowel motion, whether or not you are menstruating, whether you have other externals going on, how much water you've had in the day. There's so much variation in the scales on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour situation, and I think by the end of the day you've gained a kilo. So it's really, really important that if you find yourself obsessing with the scales, that you take a minute to just step back and just be like, okay, I'm not going to look at that. I'm not going to let that consume me, because it can be absolutely soul destroying when you see the scales going up and down, up and down, up and down. And so just take a step back. If you're finding it's an unhealthy relationship with those scales, stop weighing. Do it once a week. That's going to serve you to know, oh, where am I tracking? Some people, especially if you're long-term post-op, going by the feel of your clothes can be a really good way to know to rein things in a little bit. But equally, you do know if you're putting food in your mouth that isn't probably serving you long-term. And whilst it's easy to say that, I know that it's really important that we start applying the extra tips and tools into your life so that walking away from those foods is going to be so much easier than trying to use willpower and trying to kick yourself away. And that's what I teach inside my coaching courses, is exactly how to walk away from those foods that are absolutely getting in your way. The foods that you just can't resist putting in your mouth, or when you feel like you're sabotaging over and over and over again and feeling completely defeated. And equally, when you are in a stall, especially in that first 18 months, it can be really disheartening, and you're like, why am I doing this? I'm just going to eat what I want. And I'm here to tell you that it's totally normal, but please do not give up on yourself. You are in the trenches, you're going to get through it, but you need to know that by sabotaging your journey, by eating those slider foods, you are making your journey that much harder, and you're going to make the scales go up rather than down, and that's not what we want. And I know it can seem really easy in those first 18 months to lose all that weight, and it's like, it's falling off anyway. But if you set the foundations now in those first 18 months, you set yourself up for success long term. And I'm not saying it's impossible to set yourself up later, but I'm saying if you can nail it in the first 18 months, you don't have to work with me for as long, because you've already done the work and things will be successful and easier for you. So yeah, keeping on, and know that stalls are normal. Your journey is not linear. Comparison is the thief of joy. Do not compare yourself to others, because it is going to hurt your soul. It is going to make you look in the mirror and be like, why can't I be like this person? It's really great to have those support groups after surgery where you've got other people who had surgery on the same day as you. That's great. But everyone's life is different. Everyone's bodies lose weight at different states, different stages. And comparing yourself to other people can be soul destroying. Often the brain is not caught up with the body when it comes to after weight loss surgery, and so you think yourself is big, and then your body shape is changing, you're getting smaller and smaller, but you don't see it. And that's totally normal for it to take a while for your brain to catch up. I still catch myself some days looking at a picture that's been taken of me, and I'm like, oh, I don't look great in that picture. And then I go back to it a couple of days, a week later, and I'm like, I look amazing in that picture. What is going on? But that's that headspace that still pops up, still flares, that kind of negative speak that it can be really consuming and do some damage to your well-being. So please know, 1, you're not alone. We all think and feel like this after surgery. And 2, you have got this, and I'm so excited to hear about your journey. So please do reach out if you are looking for any extra support, looking for some coaching. If any of this resonated with you, leave a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys, because I'm doing this for you. This is for the community. I want you to know what's normal, what's not normal, and how the support that you have been looking for and that you need is right here. I can give you everything to get you on track long term. I not only know this from a medical professional perspective, I've done the research, I've done the study, I have walked the walk. I had surgery. I get you. I know exactly what you're going through right now. And so if you have questions, or if you need coaching or support, please let me know. I'm here to help. See you in the next episode.